Fantasy and Gothic fiction. I am Kame Matteo Camarda on the Dark Vanities, and here we are. Wait a minute. Accendi la torcia.
Ok, ho acceso la torcia.
And here we are on the Dark Vanities to speak about Nikon ZR and why I honestly think that this camera is worth buying. Why I want to buy this camera, maybe not this year because it has just been released, but in the next few years, probably in 2026 or 2027. So within 2 years, I will have bought the Nikon ZR, okay? So, my friends, I think this camera is special for many reasons. The first reason that come in my mind is oh shit. So, the first reason that I think about when I want to buy this camera is honestly the audio, the 32-bit flow. It's so easy. For example, if now I am clipping on the Dark Vanities right now, that audio wouldn't be clipping because I would drop below the levels. I would bring them down, and so it would cause the remove of the distortion, okay, the clipping. So, in other words, 32-bit flow is a sacred gem of this camera. The other factor is not the R3D RAW, even if it inspires me, but the fact that I can blend the R3D RAW with the red LUTs to have, as if I understand well, you know how this camera works, I can have baked in camera red RAW footage with a LUT applied so that I don't have to extrapolate the footage again. That's my interpretation. Probably it's wrong, but I would like to see what the other content creators and YouTubers and cinematographers say about this feature, because I'm really intrigued about that. For example, the Canon R50V can bring LUTs. You can bring your LUTs into the camera and then you can bake those LUTs with your footage so that you can get a ready-made footage and video straight in camera, okay? That's great. That's really fair. So, the next thing is the compact size, because you want a small mirrorless. Now I'm shooting on the Sony ZV-10 with the 16 to 50, okay? Just the 16 to 50, nothing else. And I have the ACM W2BT, the transmitter and the receiver over there. Here I have two lights. One is here, the small rig. The other one is from Android or something else. Here I have the iPhone 13 mini with its torch on. And there I have another LED light facing my face. Facing me. Okay? So, honestly, with this small setup on a Ulanzi MT73 mini table tripod, okay? And that's all. I have nothing else here to explain, because if this setup can make this kind of video, okay? If this setup can make this kind of footage and you can be happy about that, who am I to tell you that you're wrong? Do you understand me? Who am I to say that this wouldn't be enough, okay? So, my point is, why would I need to buy the Nikon ZR if I already have the Nikon ZV-E10, okay? Honestly, it's not only about full frame. It's not only about defocus or, a blurry background. No, it's not that simple. First, the idea of a cinema camera, honestly, would inspire me to shoot in a better way, in a more aware of the limits of the camera, of the surrounds, and of the environment, and of my ability, okay? So the cinema camera would slow my workflow down and would make me more capable of getting really beautiful and amazing footage with less effort, but in aware of what we can do. In other words, You get the BSI sensor, backside illuminated. You get the IBIS. You get a 4-inch, 4-inch, not 3-inch, 4-inch flip out screen. It's massive difference. Yeah, it's massive. It would help me. For example, here, the iPhone 13 mini that you can see here has a 5.4 inch display. Think about a 4-inch display. For example, not the one on the SE 2022, but you can imagine, that kind of display for a flip out vlogging style camera. Now, people compare the Nikon ZR to the Sony ZV-E1, and for some reasons I agree, but for others I think the R3D RAW and in general the RAW capabilities are not to be ignored. Even if you don't use them at the moment, you can grow and then start to use them and to learn how to make color grading and learn how to how to make this kind of workflow to modify your tendencies, and so to learn how to improve your capabilities and your what you can do. But the most important thing that I understand about this camera, honestly, is the oh my god, it's not the IBIS or the flip out screen or the the other features like the R3D RAW. The massive difference is made by the price. Okay, that's a price that is insane for this kind of value. Not because it has the Cinema Red logo, not because of the 4-inch screen, but think about the 32-bit flow audio and about the IBIS inside and about the fact that it doesn't get overheating, and that it is weather sealed, and that it has a straight and simple form factor that you can, for example, put in the car or in somewhere else to vlog or to make documentaries or other kind of stuff. Okay, so honestly, I appreciate this kind of value and I would like to buy the Nikon ZR. My expectations stop here. The last thing that I want to say for tonight, is that my goal is to buy the Nikon 20mm f1.8 S lens. It's prime, it doesn't have IBIS, but who cares, because the body has IBIS, and to stabilize a 20mm is relatively easy. Here I have the Sony ZV-1F. As you can see here, I have the Sony ZV-1F. Okay, so it's nice and clear and people like it. Okay, so if I have the Sony ZV-1F in here, the Sony ZV-1F, okay, so if I have it here, it's crazy and I really like it. It has a 20mm equivalent, so why would I like to buy the Nikon ZR with that kind of same focal length? Obviously because of the IBIS, obviously because of the longer battery life, obviously because of the 32-bit flow audio, obviously because of the IBIS, obviously because of the IBIS, and again the IBIS, because the IBIS makes all the difference, guys. If you are shooting handheld without a tripod, or with this kind of table tripod that I'm holding right now, that I have here on my table, on my desk, okay, it's nice and simply it's functional, and I like functional things. I would like to use that kind of lens, that combo, the lens with that camera, for example, for this kind of talking heads, or for the other stuff. For example, other stuff would be something like the reviews of product reviews, for example, B-roll, or small interviews, okay? Because honestly, it's great, and I honestly appreciate how the Nikon has begun this kind of new era, this kind of new, I don't know how to say, this kind of new line, okay, the ZR line. You have the the ZF, which is retro, Z5 Mark II, which is the entry level. You have the Z6 Mark III, which is the partially stacked one. Then you have the Z8 and the Z9, which are the flagships, okay? Then you have the Z50 Mark II, Z30, ZFC, okay? But these are the APS-C cameras. And honestly, I have the Fujifilm X-T30 Mark II in here. I have the Fujifilm X-T30 Mark II in here, and I really like it. As you can see, it's crazy. It's really beautiful here, and I love that. So I think that it would be nice to have this kind of fourth camera here, not the ZB-10, not the Fujifilm X-T30 Mark II, not the Sony ZV-E10 there, or the Sony ZV-1F, but I'd like to get a Nikon camera to experiment, okay? So the curiosity of my choice, of my new goal, new dream, however you want to call it, comes from this kind of complementary chance that Nikon provides us. We have the realistic representation of the image, of the video, of people, of skin tones, and of colors in general by Nikon, okay? But then it merges with the the red color science, and it creates something beautiful. You can choose to have or the realistic colors of Nikon or the cinematic colors of red at your disposal, so you can choose when and where and how to use that kind of camera. It's an instrument, it's a tool in the right hands, and it can produce great, really great footage, videos, cinematic quality, whatever. It can lead our creativity from our mind to outside, to the world. It can provide a motivation and inspire us to make better and better and better. And that's why I think that if I had here now the ZR from Nikon and the 20mm f1.8, it would be even nicer and even greater. Not only because of the low light of the bokeh around me, which would be here, but for the full frame sensor. And that's something that I don't have here. I never use the full frame. Maybe it can make all the difference, and maybe not. The thing is that I have never tried it. So I want to satisfy my curiosity. Not through Sony, not through Canon, not through Lumix. I want to try the Nikon ZR. Stop.